How you doing? Happy Thursday, the 14th day of April, 2022. I am Dan Kuntz. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, and you're waking up to the white stuff. It has been snowing at some time, in some locations quite heavily, for about the last 6 hours or so. Unprecedented weather is going on right now. Historic weather going on right now. It's a very intense band of moist air that's coming up directly from the south, and it has collided with the cold air trapped in the Wenatchee Valley. We're at 30 degrees, which is we've already set a record low temperature for today. We tied it yesterday. We've already broke the record. There's never been 30 degrees as far back as record keeping goes in the Wenatchee Valley on this date. And this is cold air, moist air, collision, snow. Very intense in many locations. Not so intense in others. I looked at the radar. It's very strange. This glob of snow right over the Wenatchee Valley. Other locations are not getting any snow at all. One of our weather spotters up in Chelan said it's raining lightly up there, and we got snow. We're going to show you a couple of slides in a video that's going to blow your mind. Now, of course, we're going to warm up into the lower 40s, which is still really cold. This long stretch of unsettled, cold, windy, blucky weather continues and will into the weekend, into the early part of next week. Our normal high this time of the year is 61. We're not going to see that for a very long time. Crazy weather. Forecast details are coming up. News, yes, they had that big hearing. The Douglas County Land Planning Committee had the big meeting last night at the Annex on 19th Street, and they voted to green light the big apartment complex they want to build in East Wenatchee on that 20-some-odd acre tract up there near 5th and Lyle. They said, we're for it. Although it was a contentious meeting, we'll have highlights of that. Plus sports. There will not be racing at the Wenatchee Valley Super Oval on Saturday night. Weather and other concerns have preempted that, so they have canceled it. Sorry, they have canceled racing. Jeremy Anders will be my guest in the back half of the program to talk about what led to that decision-making process and how they're going to move forward from here. Jeremy will be my guest. It's Thursday, Pause for Pets. Guess who's up for adoption? Beyonce. I kid you not. You can adopt Beyonce for the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society, plus an opinion from Mike Mad Dog McNaughty. I have no idea what we have camera-wise this morning. They're like all covered. The main roadways, the main arterials are slushy but passable. The side streets and the hilly streets, not so much. We've had the scanner on in the newsroom for the last 2.5 hours since we got to work. A lot of accidents, a lot of slide-offs, some jackknife semis. Not a particularly pleasant commute this morning. And there's some school delays, too. Just go to Facebook. It'll catch you up. Let's take a look at what we got. This is right outside of our studio. This is the camera high atop our building, looking on South Chelan with Wenatchee City Hall to your right and our snow-covered parking lot down below. We are really limited on cameras because we can't see anything. You got the mist and the snow and the clouds and the fog. We'll see what we can. Uriah, what do you got for me? Camera 2. Oh, that's a beautiful view. And we say good morning to the moon. That is our moon camera. We just installed that. The Sky-Fi technology is really good. What if the camera wasn't covered in snow? Would that be the heights? That's a Rondo Rock. Okay. Jeez. I told you this was intense bands of snow. It's really crazy. Some areas getting just a little skiff of snow, and others a lot of snow. Let's go to another camera. That's better. That looks to be Valley High again. Yeah, that's Valley High, and it looks like it's just snowing lightly up there. That's on your way up to Blewett Pass, but it looks like they got a lot of snow too. This is just goofy weather. Camera number 4. I don't know what we're looking at. That's Hose. Okay, well, good morning up there. That's Hose Landing on the Douglas County side of the river, basically across from Antioch. It continues to snow. The Antioch Valley, by the way, as we understand, is getting quite a bit of snow. And the Wenatchee River Valley, all the way from Wenatchee all the way up to Leavenworth, as this serious band of very intense snow is coming down. I just looked at the camera out in Quincy. No snow at all. It's just it's strange stuff. The handsome and talented Eric Granstrom and the even more handsome and more talented Marion, his wife, they live up near Pangbourne Airport. And a couple of hours ago, Eric went outside with his smartphone and took this video. Take a look.
April 14th. Wait, what? This is a scene up by Pangbourne Memorial Airport. As you can see, there was a wee bit of snow that fell. Let's see. Okay, walking out to my wife's car and put my hand in here. Oop, there you go. There, you can see how much snow, for goodness sakes. And it's still snowing. And the neighborhood, we can hear the wind machines working to try to protect the area orchards. Happy almost middle of April, everybody.
Yeah, Eric lives up near Pangbourne, as he mentioned. Pangbourne is about 1,300 feet above sea level. Where the Columbia River goes through the heart of the Wenatchee Valley, that's about 600 feet above sea level. So that's the difference there in snowfall. We have one of our coworkers who lives up near up the Wenatchee Heights area, not all the way up to the top of the heights, but on the way up to Wenatchee Heights. I'm not going to mention his name. I told Austin Dillard I wouldn't mention his name. He said he got about a foot of snow up there. He showed me some pictures when he got into the office this morning. Take a look at this slide. This is going to great. Look at this. I did all the homework this morning. It took a while, but you can do it if you know where to go. The daily weather reports for the Wenatchee Valley go back to 1931, so we have 91 consecutive years of what we'd had weather on every day from 1931 onwards. Then the latest date it has snowed in the valley was on April 13th, 1955, when a trace of snow fell. Not even enough to register on the gauge, not enough to cover the ground. Just a trace of snow fell. It would hit the ground and melted. That was way back on April 13th, 1955. It is April 14th, and right here in downtown Wenatchee, we have at least a couple of inches of snow. And we've already set the record low temperature for this date. For April 14th, we got down to 30 degrees. We were still at 30 degrees. The old record was 31 degrees, set back in 1982. Yesterday's overnight low was 28. That tied the record low for April 13th. We only got to 44 for the high yesterday. Look at that. This is now the latest it has ever snowed in the Wenatchee Valley as far back as records go. I don't know what else I don't want to gild the obvious lily, but this is something that is unprecedented in the Wenatchee Valley weather histories as far back as we can remember and as far back as history tells us. Anyway, from the National Weather Service, we're going to get some snow this morning, we're told. Eventually, we'll see a little bit of sunshine this afternoon, they tell us. We'll get up to right around 41 or 42. Again, our normal high this time of the year is 61 degrees. We'll be 20 degrees anyway, below normal. 25 for the overnight low tonight, because we're going to have fairly clear skies. No blanket of clouds to keep the heat near the valley floor. That's going to, not only is that going to set a new record low, and we're very confident about this overnight into Friday, it's going to blow past the record low temperature. 25 degrees for the overnight low tonight. A little bit warmer, more sunshine Friday, high of 47, still cold. Overnight low, below freezing. Saturday, we start talking maybe now a little bit of rain. Snow level is going to be a little bit higher on Saturday. It's going to be about 1,900 feet, 48 degrees, up to 53 on Sunday. And we'll finally get to see an overnight low that's going to be above freezing. Then we're going to stay right about the mid-50s all the way through to the latter part of next week. We're going to go 17, 18 days in a row with the high temperature not only below normal, but well below normal. Some people just talk about the weather. Here at the NCW Life Channel, we really talk about the weather. On the passes, even though we don't normally do pass reports this late, I'm going to tell you right now, traction tires are advised on Stevens. It's snowing. Traction tires are required on Blewett. It's snowing. You also got some patchy ice there that you can't see because the snow's covering up. I-90 snow quality traction tires are advised. It's snowing. Required on Blewett, advised on Stevens, advised on I-90. The later in the day you can go, the better off you are. 10 minutes after the hour, the news, and there is an adult portion of it, is 1 minute away. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life Channel.
Hi, I'm Katie Joslin and I'm a pediatrician at CVCH. We know that as new parents, you have a lot of decisions to make. At CVCH, we have a team of caring pediatricians and family medicine providers who love to take care of newborns. As you're making that decision of where you'd like to go, we hope that you'll consider coming to CVCH, where any of the providers you choose would care for your baby as if it was one of their own.
It is snowing. It is 30 degrees in downtown Wenatchee. The snow will be tapering off. Believe it or not, National Weather Service says we're going to see some sun breaks a little bit later on this afternoon, but everybody's getting up and they're looking outside and they're scratching their head and they're going, this is the middle of April. It's the middle of April. We begin with this story. Douglas County Planning Commissioners struggled last night whether to okay the Canyon Ridge townhomes. You've heard about this. It's the proposed 290-unit apartment complex near the intersection at 5th and Lyle in East Wenatchee. They had a 3-hour public hearing last night. A lot of people showed up, almost all of them opposing the project. When they finally voted, the planning commissioners voted 4-2 to green light the project. The project is developed by Wilkinson Corporation of Yakima, so they have green lighted it. It will go to the county commissioners next. That was after one proposal to reduce the project to 242 dwelling units failed on a 3-3 tie.
The traffic and safety impacts of the local minor dead-end streets is significant. According to the Wilkinson SEPA report, this is their environmental report, this project will generate 2,123 daily trips, according to their report, and they'll be entering and leaving from our local streets, minor collector streets.
Right across the street from this projected complex is a 55 and older home, which is where I live. Believe it or not, I'm over 55. This is an active community. We almost all of us are very involved in community projects, in volunteer work. So there's a lot of traffic that we create coming and going on a daily basis. In my opinion and my background experience, this project is spot zoning in spite of what is being called. And I really would suggest that the rezone be denied at this time with a lot of further work.
Are we ready for a vote? Those in favor of the motion on the floor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Let's do a poll. David?
I can't get behind that.
No. No? Tanya? Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Molly?
Yes.
And I'll say yes. So that's 4-2 vote. We have a 4-2 vote to pass it on to the commissioner with the recommendation of approval.
After this year, the Wenatchee School District is going to be changing the way its board members are elected. And they're all elected right now at large positions, but they need to avoid violating the state's Voting Rights Act. So the school board must now consider a plan to elect its members from sub-districts. That design could provide better representation for Latino residents who make up a quarter of the school district's population and 54% of its students.
These are the factors that the statute lays out to determine when there has been a violation. So these are the factors you're going to be looking at to say, is there the potential for that violation in our current system? And if you look at just the last election, there were some statements that were directed toward the race or ethnicity of certain candidates. When talking about CRT, there was a published post on social media where one of the candidates was being described as apologizing for being white. Our current board member, Ms. Iniguez, was described as, we don't need a Latina beauty queen on the board. And then if you go to the election right before that, we had Karina Vega-Villa, who essentially was running unopposed because the white male candidate that she was running against attempted to drop out, published in a newspaper that he was dropping out, yet he won the election against her. And then the election before that, you had Claudia de Robles, who was a Latina appointed board member that did not win her election seat. against a white candidate. So you have some of those issues going back through the last few elections. You have two proposed plans that the staff has put before the board. And you need to look at those proposed plans in light of the statutory factors. So the two plans are the 3 director districts with 2 at-large positions, or 4 director districts with 1 at-large position. I was curious about what our neighboring districts, school districts have looked like in terms of voting districts. Cascade has 5 districts, so all of their board members are assigned to a voting district. Kashmir has 4 districts with 1 at large. Eastmont has 3 districts with 2 at large. Chelan has 3 districts with 2 at large. Moses Lake they have broken up into all 5 districts, and Waterville has 4 districts with 1 at large. So even when we're looking at our community here in North Central Washington, almost every school district has broken up into voting districts.
A woman was killed outside her Peshastin area home late Tuesday morning when her husband accidentally ran over her with her pickup. The Chelan County Sheriff's Office said it was a tragic accident that killed the woman in her 80s. The accident happened at 11:36 in the morning on Tuesday in the 8600 block of Larson Road. The woman died at the scene. The Sheriff's Office said that her husband was also in his 80s. Moses Lake firefighters responded to a fire at a housing development yesterday morning, and Great Drive apparently was where this was at. They arrived to find flames shooting through the collapsed roof. One person transported to Samaritan Hospital after suffering some smoke-related symptoms. Firefighters were able to quickly get the fire suppressed, and then they worked on salvaging the property and overhauling the scene. The cause of that fire remains under investigation. The State Department of Health says that more than 2,000 people died from drug overdoses in 2021, including an estimated 126 people in North Central Washington. That's up from the past 2 years, each of which saw 92 drug-related deaths in the 4-county area. State health authorities say overall mortalities have gone up 66% in Washington since 2019. The likely culprit, an increase in fentanyl. That's that powerful synthetic opioid that's often disguised as a prescription medication like oxycodone. Health officials say anybody who buys opioids illicitly must now assume that the drug contains fentanyl. And thanks to unseasonably snowy and cold weather this week, that paving project on School Street north of Wenatchee, they've had to delay it until Monday. Chelan County Public Works said the paving, part of the Knowles Road Improvement Project, was to have been done yesterday, and the road reopened shortly after, but the road will now be closed from Easy Street to Knowles Road through the weekend. The improvement project is expected to move to Knowles Road next week. And now you're in the loop of what's happening on this snowy Thursday morning. Grant Olson is our weather forecast guy. I'm going to have a couple of words with Grant when he gets into the office this morning. But he also has to deliver the news, too. He's the anchor. With a preview, here's Grant.
Good morning, Dan. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, we will have our weekly Pause for Pets feature with the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society. Temperatures will slowly warm up as we head into the upcoming Easter weekend. I'll have all the details in your complete North Central Washington weather forecast. And in sports, Eric Granstrom has a look at what's coming up in high school sports, as well as the latest on the Mariners and White Sox. That and all the day's news stories coming your way tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. We hope to see you then. Dan?
Thank you, Grant. You got a news tip for us? You want to drop us a note and say hi? I was just looking at our Facebook page. A lot of you folks are sending in shots of what your yard and car looks like covered in snow in this middle of April day. We'd love to hear from you. Go to our Facebook page. You can also email us directly, news@ncwlife.com, or if you go to our homepage, ncwlife.com, you'll see the Contact Us icon. Going to take a break. When we come back, sports. No racing Saturday night at the WVSO. These things happen. We got Mariner highlights, if you will, on a brutal day in Chicago and more. Sports is 1 minute away. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Do you have old or unused prescription medications lying around? You can now safely and anonymously dispose of them at a safe medication return kiosk near you. Just visit your nearest location. 75% of opioid misuse starts when someone uses medication that wasn't prescribed for them. By removing unwanted prescriptions from your home, you're helping to keep your loved ones safe and healthy.
It has really been a great partnership between Succession and NCW Life. It's not always easy to sit in front of a camera or a microphone, but you guys have made it a really nice process.
Minutes after the hour, winter-like conditions have caused the Wenatchee Valley Super Oval to say, we ain't going to be racing. Come Saturday night, it was to be the kickoff of the 52nd season of the track up there at Fancher Heights. Track manager Jeremy Anders told me he had to consider a lot of factors on whether to hold the race Saturday, including fuel prices for teams coming from out of town.
We have lots of racers who are traveling in across the mountains, whatever, towing race cars there. We have sponsors who are traveling from out of state, other racers and support members for crew members traveling from out of state. I mean, there's a lot of things at risk. Fuel prices are really high. So, if you have a race and drivers drive in and you cancel the race on Saturday, they eat that cost. And with the way fuel prices are, that was one of the things that the forecast for precipitation on Saturday was not that good. I mean, and the last couple of mornings, it was like waking up, it's going to be a 30% chance, 40% chance, and you wake up with snow. It's like, okay, with those 40% chance, 50% chance it's saying for Saturday, it makes you feel even worse about it. So it was going to be cold, miserable. It was unfortunately an event that we had huge aspirations for. And like I said, 70-degree weather the last 3 years in opening weekend, same weekends, not the same this weekend here. So unfortunately, we're going to have to postpone or kind of cancel this weekend's events for the season opener.
Anders tells me that they're going to move some of the races around to later dates in the season. That includes the Bump to Pass and the fireworks. We'll have more with Jeremy in the back half of this program. The weather was also lousy in Chicago last night for the Mariners game with the White Sox. Rain showers delayed the game. Then it got started. Ty France hit a home run. Then it started raining again, but the umpires said, keep playing. Chicago wins 6-4.
We are, and we'll see how long that window lasts. France with a deep drive out to left field, and Ty France puts the Mariners in front. 2 batters into the ball game. He cranks out his first home run of the season.
To short, and that's scorched. Past Crawford. Sox take the lead. Harrison to third. Another hard hit baseball. And bleach very necessary for Harrison at third.
Even with what looks like a mailbox run.
That one is a meteor to left center field. Tim Anderson once again lights up Ray. 2 more home, and the Sox are pounding away in the rain.
Anderson tiptoeing the line. Suarez picks himself up, and it is in time. Eugenio Suarez flashing the leather down at third.
Late in the game, you figure you want to take doubles away.
Tim to right field. Haniger back at the track. Bring him home. Robert squares this one up. Right center. Back to back. TA and Luis.
Fights this off, and it drops in for a base hit. Crawford's third hit. He's able to park 97 into left field. He scores Suarez. It's a 2-run game.
On the ground. Hendricks does it himself, and the Sox win. 6-4 your final score on a soggy night in Chicago.
Manager Scott Service said the conditions were just brutal. He said his players were having a hard time just hanging on to the baseball.
Get tougher conditions to play in than that tonight, but both teams had to deal with it best we could. I thought, Robbie really competed his tail off. Obviously, it was the second inning was probably the hardest it rained all night, and they squared some balls up on him there, and then he really settled down to give us a chance to get back into the game. But obviously tonight, Keuchel kept us off balance a little bit, got to him a little bit there for a couple runs, I think in the 5th, but couldn't get much going there in the 6th or 7th. And then, they got back into their bullpens really good. And just the big inning there in the 2nd inning, just couldn't get back on top after that.
Mariners will try and put a halt to this 4-game losing streak. It's a morning game, getaway game, last game of the 7-game road trip. It's Logan Gilbert and Jimmy Lambert towing the rubber, first pitch at 11:10. Seattle Sounders will play for the CONCACAF Championship for the first time in their history. They beat New York City in the semifinals last night. Raul Ruiz scored in the 21st minute to give Seattle a 4-1 lead in the aggregate over the Citizens. New York City was able to tie the game, but the Sounders advance to take on Puma.
Nuhu serving Rui Diaz. The good interchange allows Nuhu unencumbered service, and Rui Diaz plants this wide of Sean Johnson. Seattle 4-1 aggregate lead. Gray, header back set once more as far as Rodriguez, who turns, crosses off the post again. Around the outside, kept alive. Castellanos dummies. There's one for New York City. Pereira, header down, saved, and Fry with a bit of help watches this launch out of play. Allowed through, Tylus Magno turns, excellent Fry. Elastic save, in behind, flag is down, Castellanos crossing, what a save, Fry! Delivers, over Morales, falls Andrade, another stop, it's blocked, turning, saved again off the line. Now Parks floats over Castellanos and touched aside by Fry. The Champions League final will be contested in Seattle.
There you go. Seattle will take on Puma in the 2-game championship. That'll be held in late April and in early May. Well, what's going to happen today as far as high school sports? Wintry weather, obviously, may impact the sports schedule. This is what's on the calendar. First of all, one result from yesterday. Brewster beat Liberty Bell 6-0 on the Les Schwab scoreboard. It's supposed to be today in soccer, Tenasket at Okanagan, Liberty Bell hosting Bridgeport at 4:30, Grandview playing at Ephrata at 6, and Quincy is supposed to host Kashmir, and Pateros is due to host Manson. These scheduled baseball games today have Ephrata hosting West Valley of Spokane, Kashmir hosting Quincy, Brewster visiting Chelan, Omak traveling to Lake Roosevelt, and Pateros will host Manson. They're all scheduled to get going at 4:30. In softball action yesterday, Waterville-Mansfield swept a doubleheader from Quincy 18-8 and 13-10. Today it's supposed to be Ephrata at Eastmont at 4. Omak is supposed to host Brewster at 4:30. Tenasket and girls softball traveling to Liberty Bell. Now the entire schedule obviously subject to change with today's weather. Our own Eric Granston will be talking to athletic directors throughout the day to have an update tonight on the NCAA Life Evening News. You can also go to our Facebook page in case there are cancellations in high school sports, and I wouldn't be surprised if there are, at 28 minutes after the hour. The Obscura holiday, I got a bunch of them to choose from. I could have done National Gardening Day, I could have done National Pecan Day, National Ex-Spouse Day, National Pan American Day, National Reach as High as You Can Day, but I'm a sucker for dolphins. They call her Flipper, Flipper, faster than lightning. They are very social, they are very fast, they are very, very smart. They live in pods. Each dolphin has their very own whistle unique to them. That is amazing. They live in pods of about a dozen, unless there's a whole bunch of food around. Then they got super pods. There could be thousands of dolphins hanging around. Why do dolphins leap out of the water? Well, for one thing, they need to breathe. Dolphins, of course, breathe air. They don't, they're not fish. So, it also saves energy. There's a lot less friction in air than there is in water. And it's fun. People think that they seem to be having a good time jumping around in the air. Dolphins can't breathe underwater. They have to surface to breathe. So how can they sleep without drowning? They nap, essentially. Rather than sleep, what they do is they shut down one half of their brain for about a half an hour at a time, and they rest that, and the other half of the brain is active, searching for food, looking out for predators and things like that, and breathing. And then they do it the other way. That half shuts off and the other half turns on. That's how they do it 24 hours a day. Dolphins have teeth, but they don't chew. They use their teeth to grab their prey, and then they swallow it whole. They call her Flipper. Happy National Dolphin Day today, at the bottom of the hour. Today in history, Abe and Mary went to the theater on April 14th, 1865 at Ford's Theater to watch the play My American Cousin. John Wilkes Booth snuck up behind the president and shot him in the back of the head. Abraham Lincoln died the next day. One of the more remarkable stories of this tragic event is that General Grant and his wife Julia were supposed to attend the play with the president and Mary Todd Lincoln. They didn't. It was even advertised in the newspapers. Hey, the general is going to be joining the president in the presidential box tonight. But Julia Grant could not stand Mary Todd Lincoln. A lot of people didn't like Mary Todd Lincoln. She was high-strung. She was not a particularly pleasant person. And a lot of people really liked Julia Grant. They thought she was a very warm, down-to-earth person, U.S. Grant's wife. And she said, there's no way I'm going to sit next to Mary Lincoln for 2 hours. We ain't going, Sam. And Ulysses S. Grant didn't go. Who knows what would have happened if he went? Abe Lincoln died the next day. Happy birthday to Penny's. Still around. Kmart's gone. A lot of them are gone. Penny's still hanging in there. April 14th, 1902. 119 years ago today, J.C. Penney, James Cash Penney, opens his first store in Wyoming. That is the store, by the way, they sold it last year because they're in debt and they had to file for bankruptcy. In 1973, at the height of their popularity, there were 2,053 J.C. Penney stores with revenues of $5 billion. That's $31 billion in today's money. Today, there are 669 stores left, and last year the company lost $268 million. But they're still out there, and the Penny's in the Wenatchee Valley is one of the more healthier Penny's in the chain. It's in no danger of closing. Happy birthday to Penny's. 112 years ago today, William Howard Taft had a really bad day at the office. He just had a bad day at the Oval Office. Also happened to be opening day of the baseball season for the Washington Senators, and he told his staff, "Nerds to this, I'm having a bad day. Let's take the afternoon off. Let's go to the ball game." And so he went to the opening game, and he sat in the box, and they said, "Hey, while you're here, Mr. Prez, you want to throw out the ceremonial first pitch?" So he did. And on this date in 1910, William Howard Taft became the very first president to throw out the ceremonial first pitch before a baseball game. And again, he wasn't even supposed to be there. He just showed up on a whim. Every president since William Howard Taft, at least once during their administration, threw out a ceremonial first pitch at a Major League Baseball game until Donald Trump, who declined to do so. That streak came to an end. April 14th, 1912, 109 years ago today, 20 minutes before midnight off the coast of Newfoundland, the Titanic, on its maiden voyage, struck an iceberg. We'll have more on this in tomorrow's edition of Today in History. 82 years ago today, in my opinion, the greatest novel in American history, The Grapes of Wrath, is published by John Steinbeck, of course, wrote it. First published on this date, 82 years ago today. One of my all-time favorites. Great book. Great book. I've probably read it 6-7 times. Steinbeck's my favorite author in that respect. 53 years ago today, Bob Golby wins the Masters. He won the Masters because Robert Di Vincenzo of Brazil signed an incorrect scorecard. This is how the rules work in sports. Everybody thought they had tied. There was going to be an 18-hole playoff on the following Monday. But Roberto, his playing partner, Tommy Aaron, on the 17th hole, Robert actually got a 3. He birdied the hole, but Tommy Aaron, his playing partner, accidentally wrote 4 instead of 3 because they keep track of each other's scores. That's how that works. And when the tournament was over and he put it out on 18, he didn't look at the scorecard. Tommy Aaron said, "Here's your scorecard," and he just signed it and handed it back. Well, if you sign for an incorrect score that's higher than what you actually shot, you're stuck with it. If you sign for a card that's lower than your shot, you're disqualified. So the card had to stand. Bob Golby got the championship. He was given a bit of grief for it, and he really shouldn't have. It wasn't his fault. Check your scorecard, golfers. Birthdays. Back in 1992, Red Barber said the 3 most important people in baseball history are Babe Ruth, Jackie Robinson, and that man, Marvin Miller, who, of course, was the executive director of the Major League Baseball Players Association for many, many years. brought free agency to baseball, among many, many things. He was born in the state in 1917. He was elected to the Hall of Fame just last year. When he took over as executive director of the Players Association, the average salary for a Major League Baseball player in 1966 was $19,000. The average salary for a Major League Baseball player today is $1.4 million, and baseball remains the only sport that does not have a salary cap. Players actually get to earn whatever they can get. Not bad. Rod Steiger, the great actor, born in the state in 1925. He played Charlie in On the Waterfront. That's how I first got to know him. He was fantastic in The Pawnbroker, a depressing movie, but very good. And, of course, In the Heat of the Night, he played Chief Gillespie. Rod Steiger, Academy Award winner, born in the state in 1925. Happy 90th birthday to Loretta Lynn, the most awarded female country recording artist in history. The ACMs have Artists of the Decade, and she is the only female country artist to win an Artist of the Decade award. She was named the Artist of the Decade of the 1970s. 24 number one hits on the Billboard Country Chart. Happy 90th birthday to Loretta Lynn. Pete Rose is 81 years old today. Of course, Major League Baseball's all-time leader in hits, games played, at-bats, base hits, and outs. And like you, I'm sure, like all of my viewers, I follow the sumo wrestlers out of Mongolia. We want to wish, he's the 70th Yokozuna. He's Haramafuji Kohai. He's a big guy. He's 38 years old today. Jeremy Andrews is going to join me here in just a couple minutes to talk about the thought process of why they had to cancel Saturday night's racing at the WVSO. That's coming up. Also an opinion from Mike Dagbignotti. But first, Beyonce needs a home. Yeah. It's Pause for Pets.
Hi, I'm Jenny. I'm the volunteer coordinator here at Wenatchee Valley Humane Society. And today I have with me about 7-year-old Beyonce. I have to say that she is probably one of the most overlooked dogs we have here in our shelter. She is so lovely, so sweet. She goes to playgroup with a lot of dogs. She's a real gentle player, so she's fine around them. She doesn't always engage with them just because she's pretty gentle. She is easy to walk on leash. She knows her basic commands. She is just overall such an easy gal. She did get the name Beyonce here in the kennel, or here at the shelter, just because when she first came to us, she would bark to get our attention. People are her thing. She absolutely loves people. As soon as she's out, as you can see, she's just so happy to be with people. She'd be great to have that dog that went in the car with you, went on trips, went hiking. She's really up for anything. And again, I just feel like she's probably the most overlooked dog we have here in the shelter. So come here, Beyonce. Come on. I would say, come on. She is ready to go home today. And I promise, okay, it's morning and she's showing her her funny side too. Can you sit? I promise that she is just overall a great dog. And if you give Beyonce a chance and meet her, you'll fall in love with her also.
The Wenatchee Valley Humane Society is located at 1474 South Wenatchee Avenue and is open 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. and closed 1:30 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. for quiet hour. Give them a call at 509-662-9577 or visit their website at wenatcheehumane.org.
Come on, I'm a certified technician. I was trained to take good care of you.
9. I've only been to the dealer.
I've been coming here for years. These guys are great.
Look around. The BMW, the Jag, the Volvo, they're all waiting for regular service. Well, the BMW has a little computer issue, but that's nothing we can't handle. Come on in.
From regular maintenance to computer troubleshooting, trust the Global Car Care technicians with your import, diesel-powered, or domestic vehicle. Global Car Care. They speak your car's language.
Dankeschön. When your heating or cooling system is giving you trouble, call the diagnostic doctor from Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning.
Here's the culprit right here.
All joking aside, when you call Dick's, you're calling 35 years of experience at customer service right here in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's strongly believes in repairing before replacing, and they service all major brands of HVAC units.
I'm here at the Discovery Center at Rocky Reach Dam, where there's a ton of cool stuff to do. You can learn how the dam harnesses the power of the Columbia, walk inside a Native American Thule lodge, and steer clear of disaster on the Rock Island Rapids. You can check out the new fish viewing space and even stare a salmon right in the eye. Explore all this and more at Chelan County PUD's brand new Discovery Center at Rocky Reach Dam, now open year-round.
It's going on 4 decades of doing business in the Wenatchee Valley. And I want people to know that it matters. It matters to me that people choose to do business with us. It matters that people trust us, trust us. That matters more than anything.
Find ageless beauty at Chelan Valley Skincare. Cindy offers the most up-to-date treatments for personalized skincare. If sagging skin or acne scars are some skin challenges for you, Chelan Valley Skincare offers non-invasive, non-surgical skincare. With up-to-date technology for shorter treatment plans, you'll benefit from Cindy's expertise to help you accomplish your skincare goals. Please stop by their website for details on all their services. Call Cindy today for your free consultation.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog McNutty, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Like I've said before, I'm a regular churchgoer, so I run into this guy who I used to see at church, and as I haven't seen him for a while, I asked him, where's he been? Is everything okay? He said, I stopped coming, and the reason was I've been going there to church for a year, and no one has ever invited me out to lunch. Now, what kind of reason is that? Was he going to church to arrange lunch dates? And what I should have asked him is, did you ever invite anyone to lunch? Wouldn't it be a good idea if maybe we should do unto others what we would have them do to you, rather than expect people to do to you just because you happen to be there? This is Mike Mad Dog McNutty, and that's my opinion.
As AmeriCorps members and volunteers, we do more than talk about our core values. We take action and commit to making our community stronger.
At AmeriCorps, my commitment to equity gives every student a strong start.
Our compassion brings food and friendship to neighbors in need.
My determination protects parks in my community.
Now more than ever, your community needs you. What's at your core? Learn more at AmeriCorps.gov.
NCW Life Channel is your local TV station. We provide the latest news from around North Central Washington weeknights at 5, 6, and 10 o'clock with Grant Olson. If it's happening in your neighborhood, we have you covered with a staff of reporters who are always on call. Grant will also keep you up to date on the latest weather, and Eric Grandstrom covers sports. It's all on your local TV station, the NCW Life Channel.
Are you caught in a conflict with a family member, in the workplace, or with a neighbor or business? Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center provides mediation services, a cost-effective and efficient way to provide a written resolution to disputes and issues. Plus, we offer mediation training and community education on topics like conflict resolution and communication skills. Contact us at 509-888-0957 or www.wvdrc.org to learn more.
Hi folks, welcome to Save Mart. How can we help you today?
We're looking for a recliner.
Okay, right this way. Go ahead and move this chase on the other side. You can lift this up.
Great, I want that one. I like that one.
That's a great choice.
And I want this one as well.
Okay.
And I definitely want this one.
Ooh. You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
I'm John Divis from Wenatchee Dental Arts, and I like to think myself as a comprehensive dentist. We are an office that treats people comprehensively for their dental problems. We do a lot of general dentistry in a broad sense. We don't send everything out. Things that we have the ability to do in the office, we like to keep in the office and under one roof and keep things as complication-free as possible. You can come to one place and have all their dental needs taken care of.
911, what is the address of your emergency?
Yes, it's me. It's my husband. I think there's something the matter with him.
It was a feeling that I'll never forget, like being able to meet them and know that he survived.
Okay, tell me what's happening. Is he conscious?
No, he's not.
Okay, take a deep breath for me. I'm getting you help.
Rivercom means to me that I still have my husband here with me. They're the ones that guided me through saving his life.
I'm Dr. Wayne Latimer. I'm a chiropractic physician. I have postgraduate certifications in both whiplash, trauma, and rehab, as well as sports medicine. The location is great. The light and the visibility, the 17-foot ceilings are fantastic. You can go into a lot of clinics, and it's very clinical. People really like the spa environment, so my whole premise was take a spa environment, add the very serious rehab, and give people an enjoyable way to get better over time.
Welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. The plan, like all plans, sometimes go by the wayside. We're going to pop up to the Wenatchee Valley Super Oval, talk to Jeremy Anders about an exciting Saturday night of racing for opening night. Things happen. I can't say the other word because then we'd lose our FCC license. Jeremy is here, my good friend Jeremy. Hi, bud.
Hello.
How you doing?
It's been a rough week.
Oh,
it's been a cold, miserable, snowy week. I think looking back the last 3 years on this weekend on the opening night, we've averaged somewhere around 70-degree temperatures. So that's not the case this week. It's been we only get so many days to work at the track and get the track ready for opening weekend, and right now it's not working to our favor, and the forecast for the weekend not good. So it's been heading into this week, I had high expectations, and then as the weather came in more and more, those expectations have dropped to zero. So yeah, that's what
you had. Racers coming in from out of town. You had sponsors coming in from out of town. You had to make a decision. So you got up on Wednesday morning and took a look around, and was that it? I mean, was that you kind of said, at least you call Garrett, Michelle, and say, I don't know.
Well, yeah, it was more like Tuesday night was processing, kind of looking at the different options we have, because we have lots of racers who are traveling in across the mountains, whatever, towing race cars there. We have sponsors who are traveling from out of state, other racers and support members for crew members traveling from out of state. I mean, there's a lot of things at risk. Fuel prices are really high, so if you have a race and drivers drive in and you cancel the race on Saturday, they eat that cost. And with the way fuel prices are, that was one of the things the forecast for precipitation on Saturday was not that good. I mean, and we last couple of mornings, it was like waking up, it's going to be a 30% chance, 40% chance, and you wake up with snow. It's like, okay, with those 40% chance, 50% chance of saying for Saturday, it makes you feel even worse about it. So it was going to be cold, miserable. It was unfortunately an event that we had huge aspirations for. And like I said, 70-degree weather the last 3 years in opening weekend, same weekends. Not the same this weekend here. So unfortunately, we're going to have to postpone or kind of cancel this weekend's events for the season opener, the 52nd season opener. We're going to delay a few things to next week. So the Rockstar Energy B-Mods, which we're going to have was going to be big this last weekend, they're going to move to add on to next weekend's events. Our Save Our Race Cars Night and Fireworks are move that to June 4th. And then unfortunately, the way that the schedule's worked out with a Bump to Pass in the Northwest and different races, and Bump to Pass are one class where you can't really go back to back to back weeks because usually it takes a week to repair the cars to get them back to going after they can go. So we had to push that one up to July 9th. So everything's getting moved to different dates, and now moves that next weekend, April 23rd, is our season opener. Going to be a big event. We have the Tommy Wentz Classic for the Tri-State Hobby Stocks, Dixon Air Conditioning Thunder cars. We're expecting 30-plus cars for that event. The Tri-State Mini Stocks are going to be in action. We're going to have the Roadrunners for their first race of the year because they got bumped off this weekend. The Northwest Pro Ford trucks, and then the Rockstar Energy B-Mods will have their first race. So it's going to be an action-packed night. We're probably going to start a little bit earlier than normal next weekend just to kind of hopefully work with the temperatures. Looking at the forecast extended out, looks a little better for next weekend. So yeah,
there's good news though, because you readily admitted you were scrambling to get the track ready because as you know, they winterize the track, they shut everything down, and then they have a limited. You just have a small little window, really, come spring to get the track ready for opening night. At least it buys you another week to take care of that little stuff that you need to do: painting, plumbing, cleaning, general chores that you were scrambling to get done for this Saturday. Now you bought it, but a little more time.
Yeah, we get about 6 really maintenance days to work on our facility to get it going, and of those 6 days, we've had either rain or snow on 3 of those 6 days. So not the weather we really wanted in that sense there. And then of course, if it rains the day before, snows the day before, you got to wait to. And a lot of stuff we're doing is a lot of painting. We laid a lot of paint down. The walls are pretty much done now. We have some new stuff and some billboards to put up. I was joking that tried to do the billboards the other morning. I was like, I'll go rough it in the snow, and when the man list starts sliding down the track in the snow, that's not a good thing to have. So there's things like that you just got to battle through. But now I think hopefully everything dials in. That the nice thing is I think the center of the grass will be all really green, so the water, all the precipitation coming down stuff. But I think right now it's like you go up there and just see white everywhere. And it's not white paint, it's white snow, which in April, which is really weird.
What are folks who already bought their tickets? I mean, say, I was going to be there, now what? What are we going to do?
So we're pretty easy. I actually already did it, so push the button. Tickets are automatically refunded back to everybody who got them. We encourage you to, it takes about 3 to 4 days, whatever. We encourage everybody who bought tickets to try to buy tickets for next weekend. Next weekend's going to be a big race. You definitely want to be there for that. And I think it's back on your credit card or whatever you paid for probably by Friday, and you can just go and buy your tickets for next weekend.
But we've already told people last time Jeremy was here, which was on St. Patrick's Day, the season pass is an incredibly great deal. It's unbelievably good.
Surprising enough, we've actually been selling a lot more of this later in the year too. So you get right now still $169, which have 15 or 16 events instead of 17 events, which is still a great deal. And it's less almost like $10 a ticket, which is better than you pay at the front gate there. And so you get them at the online or at the dealership at Leonard Evans in Wenatchee. You can buy them from there, or you can buy them at the track on race days. So.
Speaking of that, you got a smoking new car, man. It's out in the parking lot. Talk about that thing.
It's just one of our promo vehicles. We used to have a promo kind of pace track.
I remember that was white with the logo on it.
We've always had it for a while. So we were going to do it 2 years ago, and then we got it now. So we have a promo vehicle that we'll have. So it'll be in the classy chassis. It'll be in the Apple Blossom parades like that. So we'll use it for parades like that, and we have different events we're doing all the time around towns like that. So it just helps to kind of brand and let people know that that racing's going on in the Wenatchee Valley. I was actually in the Fred Meyer parking lot the other day, and a guy walked up. He's like, "Oh, I forgot about the racetrack. I haven't gone there in 4 or 5 years." He said, "I saw your truck, and it reminded me of my grandson's coming to town. Do you have a race in this date?" I'm like, "Yeah, we have a race in that date." So I think sometimes it just brings awareness to people that they may not see on social media, may not see on radio or hear on radio or see on TVs like that. So they see it out there, like, "Oh yeah, the racetrack." So it just helps with branding.
So just to recap, there will be no racing on Saturday. It's canceled, but the vast majority of the events are going to happen. They're just going to happen at different dates and times later on in the year.
Yeah, we still got a full slate of schedule. I mean, April 23rd is a jam-packed season opener. We're probably going to have, I bet you, close to, if not over 100 cars in the pits at Wenatchee, which will be crazy. And then we follow that up with probably one of our biggest weekends of the year, the Leonard Evans weekend with the Apple Blossom 100. So we got huge weekend of pro late models on Saturday, huge weekend of super late models on Sunday. We get the Bandoleros, the little kids racing. We got the Focus Midgets and Legends. So that's April 30th and May 1st. Those tickets actually go on sale on tomorrow on Friday morning. So.
Anything else while I have you? This is such a... How many French fries have you spilled in your new car?
I don't know, probably 1 or 2, but yeah. There's actually, if anything, I'm lucky enough. We've been hauling a lot of paint and going back and forth up in top, so we haven't dropped any paint in the back of the truck yet, so that's a good thing. So yeah.
Jeremy Anders, my good buddy, the general manager with Wenatchee Valley Super Oval. Sorry about Saturday. I mean, sometimes some things are simply out of your control.
Well, unfortunately, we were going to have you guys up there to broadcast it. And Bunt to Pass is fun to broadcast, and probably one of the funnest races to camera because you never know what's going to go on. But unfortunately, that's not going to happen. But we'll have you guys back up there. I think we have 3 more dates scheduled with you guys this year. So
Bump to Pass is fun because we wear our big aviator headsets. It's loud, as you all know. I mean, at the Wenatchee Valley Super Oval, and that's part of it. It's part of it. The smell of the exhaust, and it's all part of the excitement. And your adrenaline starts flowing, and then Bump to Pass starts, and you're on your headset, and you're talking to the guys in the van. Who's in the lead? I don't know. And you're like 2 laps into the race and you have no idea who's going to lead. That's fun of it. That's part of the fun.
Yeah, it's craziness for sure, and it's a class that enjoys. The nice thing now, you're going to have Bump to Pass in July and Bump to Pass in August back to back. So you have 2 months of full excitement, and it'll make it so we have 3 big events in the summertime, the middle of the summer, because we'll have our big rig semi trucks at the end of June, Bump to Pass in middle of July, and then Bump to Pass in the middle of August. So.
And the kids get to see Dad on a Saturday.
Very rarely, I know. It was like Easter weekend, and I was like, I think them knowing that was going to happen, probably they're excited for it. Yeah. So, I think it's probably one of my very few Saturdays I'll have off all summer long. So,
Jeremy, it's always great to see you, my friend.
Thank you.
Sorry about Saturday, but hey, 23rd, write it down. We're back.
We'll see you there. And tickets, WVSO.com for all the events on there, and all the schedules all updated as well.
Jeremy Anders, the general manager of the Wenatchee Valley Super Oval, celebrating its 52nd year of racing. A lot of tracks aren't making it. This one's not only making it, it's thriving. Mother Nature accepted. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
Are you worried about eviction? If you've received threats or notices of eviction from your landlord, you may qualify for help. Low-income Washington residents facing eviction have the right to free legal counsel regardless of your immigration status. Access to legal help in an eviction is your right. Don't wait. Call the Eviction Defense Hotline today.
Watch Vibrant Living, brought to you by the Wenatchee Valley Senior Activity Center. Find out about programs and activities for ages 50 and over, and meet amazing seniors who contribute to our community. New episodes Sundays at 1:30 p.m., replayed throughout the week on the NCW Life channel. Get your body moving. Tune in for Vibrant Motion, featuring low-impact aerobics hosted by Connie Townsend. These workouts are great for all ages. Vibrant Motion, brought to you by the Wenatchee Valley Senior Activity Center, weekdays on the NCW Life channel.
Spring is more than just a time to clean. It's your time to renew, recharge, and spend time with the people you love. At Merry Maids, our cleaning services go beyond the basic services and provide you with a comprehensive clean that will re-energize your home and enhance your life. From everyday routine cleaning or deep cleanings, Merry Maids professional team members can provide you with an unrivaled experience. Call Merry Maids to schedule your cleaning today.
This just in, we understand it's snowing outside of our studios. It started snowing up, I got the notes right here, it started snowing up at Pangborn lightly about midnight last night. Light snow, intermediate snow, sometimes it tapered off a little bit, but it was snowing a little bit, and it has been snowing a little bit since about midnight, and then it's been coming down pretty hard for the last hour and a half or so. A very intense, not very big, but it's a very intense batch of moist air has been colliding with the record cold air that we have over the Wenatchee Valley. It's 30 degrees, has been for quite some time. We've already set a record low for today. Cold air trapped on the valley floor. In comes some moist air from the south, and this is what you get. I did the homework. The National Weather Service is pretty cool. If you have some time, you can do it. You can go back and look at the weather on any day you want, all the way going back to 1931. And so I did this morning. It took me about a half an hour to go through every April day from 1931 to find out when was the last date it snowed this late. And I found it. A trace of snow came down in the Wenatchee Valley on April 13th of 1955. Not enough to measure, but enough to say, hey, it's snowing. That is remarkable. Not only is this the latest snowfall of measurable snow we have ever seen since 1931, it's a lot of it, and it continues to come down. There is some relief in sight, though, folks. Hang in there. There is some relief in sight, but it's very strange because the Wenatchee Valley is really getting the brunt of this. Other areas that aren't too far from us are getting really very little or any snow at all, as a matter of fact. From the National Weather Service, we're supposed to see some sun breaks this afternoon. Let's take a look at the forecast. The big story is really going to be the cold again tonight. We have the forecast. There it is. There it is. 42. Our high today. The snow should be tapering off. It might switch over to a little bit of a rain-snow